and the Tea Party officially. There's no link between the two, but a new Quinnipiac poll found that 74% of Tea Partiers also call themselves, saying they identify with Republicans or independents who lean Republican.
So on the surface, they may seem like the perfect political pair, but we've seen some racist overtones from a small number of Tea Party protesters, and that has some Republicans really uneasy. Our Carol Costello is live in D.C. this morning with an AM original. Good morning to you, Carol.
Good morning, John and Kara. So the question this morning, should Republicans just not associate themselves with Tea Partiers? Well, there's problems with that. Republicans are walking a tightrope when it comes to the Tea Party movement. On one hand, it needs its passion. On the other hand, it doesn't need the controversy, especially if it's racially tinged. So what should the party do? The Republican Party continue to make nice or go its own way?
It may be just a few bad apples in a sea of demonstrators, but the message they're sending resonates. And not in a good way. While Republican Party leaders say they don't condone such behavior, Newsweek.com's Katie Connolly writes they encourage the sort of anger that boils over into such foul insults. Have the Tea Party protests, she wonders, become loud, mad, and dangerous for the Republicans?
The children of America are in crisis.
Lenny McAllister says he's a proud Tea Party member and a conservative Republican.
We have to speak out against this stuff because it does not fit into our principles, morals, or values. At the same time, we cannot alienate the most active aspects of the conservative base at this time.
He's calling on conservatives to help the Republican Party walk that tightrope in a way they did not back in 2009, when Republican National Chairman Michael Steele denounced Rush Limbaugh's incendiary talk.
Rush Limbaugh is an entertainer. Rush Limbaugh, his whole thing is entertainment. Yes, it's incendiary.
Right. Steele found so little support after that, he ended up apologizing to Limbaugh. Steele and other Republican leaders did condemn those who shouted racial slurs at black lawmakers this past weekend, but rejected the notion that its association with the Tea Party is dangerous, because at its core, it's about shared conservative values, limited government, lower taxes, and individual freedom. Some Republicans say the real danger for their party is not saying this loudly enough.
Good government in America.
Princella Smith is running for Congress in Arkansas.
I'm a small town girl, and so what I'm espousing are small town, everyday American principles, and I've gotten an overwhelmingly positive response from Republicans and Tea Partiers.
Smith, who spoke at the Republican National Convention, is one of some 30 African-American Republicans running for Congress, one of the biggest rosters ever. And something, says Smith, that if more widely known, would help drown out any fringe element that tries to associate itself with conservatives.
McAllister, who is a popular Tea Party speaker, says the real danger for the Republican Party and the Tea Party movement is in not discouraging these fringe elements. When they see someone using these movements to further, a racist agenda, they should shout them down and disinvite them from the party. John, Kieran?
It seems to me a case of sort of, a couple of bad apples spoiling the whole thing. This is a movement that tends to sort of be self-policing. Is a possibility that some of these groups could just look, take a look at these folks and say, look, we really don't want you with us because we don't like what you represent. Get them out of it and then regroup and go on?
That's what McAllister is suggesting. When Tea Partiers see some of these people holding some of these objectionable signs, they should say, look, you're not furthering our agenda, you're hurting our agenda, so put the signs away and you're not invited to the party anymore. They should really make those feelings known and make them known strongly.
We're going to be talking more about this, by the way, Carol, with David Frum, who called this whole situation of health care passing, this health care reform bill passing into law, Waterloo, but not for Democrats, for Republicans. Leslie Sanchez, GOP strategist, strongly disagrees. So we're going to get their take on where the GOP goes from here. It was great to talk to you, and as always, people can weigh in on the blog about Carol's story, cnn.com/amfix. Carol, thanks.
Sure.
Well, right now we're crossing the half.